I guess I need to not be human. I need to have my entire body be completely numb. So what I'm gonna do from now on, I'm just gonna like pop pills before I go on stream. So when I come on stream, I'm all doped up. So I don't have an itchy ear. I don't feel a pimple on my head. I don't touch anything, right?
For full transparency, this is going to be an amalgamation of the suggestion box from the last 2 suggestion box segments because for some reason he insists on doing them back to back. And to be more specific, it's actually going to be an amalgamation of my top picks. I just wanted to state that outright so that all of my audio styles could understand why it might seem a little disjointed in parts without ever having to actually look at the screen.
You can improve your content by not insulting the people that you ban and simply continuing the game or the topic discussion. If you get more done, you would probably come across as less bothered. People mess with you because they know you'll go on and on about how trolls are idiots. Sure, it might be true, but that's what they want to laugh at. A recent example is what happened with the steak conversation. The reactions to the trolls are what keeps them going.
What a sound and reasonable suggestion, right? Someone is telling DSP to ignore the trolls and move on positively, and that's the kind of advice every lolcow really should be hearing. As a matter of fact, this is exactly the type of message that DSP himself would be trying to communicate had this suggestion box taken place just a few months ago. Unfortunately for everyone though, the casino bump has massively inflated this man's ego, so his message now has a bit of a different tune to it, and you'll see what I mean.
So you might be saying, what is the steak conversation? I don't even remember. I remember that was a dumb meme that the detractors latched onto. So allow me to focus on this for a second. Okay, here you go. I want you to think about this. My detractors, right, like to hyper focus on one small piece of minutia. Okay, like the smallest, tiniest piece of minutia from something. It's not significant. It doesn't have any bearing on my content or streams. It's not even anything important. But they hyper fixate on one small, insignificant thing. Then they blow it up to be important when it's not. They repeat it over and over and over like a cult, ad nauseum, until it becomes a groupthink mentality to say that thing over and over and over. And then to them, it becomes something of significance. It becomes like an empowering term for them. Like, oh, we all know what that is. We all know what the steak meme is. So we just say steak and it's funny. In reality, it's not funny. It's not intelligent. It's not even a real meme. It's that they're fucking brain dead, mentally stunted idiots. They actually just sit there and focusing on something that has no value, and they try to give it value like they're worshiping some kind of a fucking idol, like the golden calf or something. Like they think that's important. It's not. Only a moronic idiot would think it is. So that's why I don't give a fuck about their dumb memes or whatever they say.
How does he always manage to extrapolate so much from people just being goofy online? People only picked up on the steak meme because it was said multiple times back to back on his stream while he was being toxic. That's it. It's that simple and always has been. He is right though, a lot of detractor memes are silly and not important, because that's kind of how memes work. They're supposed to be amusing and oftentimes small, insignificant things like how he says words wrong or he moves in an odd way. Those are the exact type of things that you should be making memes about when it comes to DSP. All of the little idiosyncrasies that come with the guy are the exact reason why people enjoy laughing at him in the first place. So it really is only natural that they pick up on things like the steak meme. DSP just happens to be a 42-year-old man who really just doesn't understand how people communicate, or at least doesn't understand how people can find comedy in things that are not inherently intended to be funny. I shouldn't be surprised by this though, as DSP doesn't find anything funny unless it's some sort of scat joke, really the lowest form of comedy.
That's the thing. Like, you have to understand something. It doesn't matter what I say or do. They'll do it anyway. Like, if I have absolutely nothing going on, there's no yelling at trolls today, everything's fine, they'll still find shit to talk about because that's what they do. They're completely nuts. Normal people don't act like that. Normal people don't hyperfixate and go crazy over tiny little things that have no meaning and then turn them into giant blown up things, making mountains out of molehills. It doesn't make sense. Normal people don't have time for that shit. The fact that they even said anything about a steak, I don't even remember what that is. I think there was a stream where people were talking about steaks in my chat, and I was upset because I was playing probably like Street Fighter, and I was like, hey, why are you talking about steaks? I'm playing Street Fighter. Why aren't we fucking talking about Street Fighter? Right? And that was like it. That was the extent of it. And then they turned that into like a meme. It's like, what is wrong with you? You're a loser. Right?
That's not where the joke originated from, but I'm glad to see that even after someone has already explained the joke's origin to him previously, he has already forgotten it. That's just really cool to know, that even if you explain something to DSP explicitly, he's gonna forget it anyway. Unless, of course, that information was about WWE champions, then he's got all of the brain power in the world to remember the information. Real talk though, if the detractors are going to always find something to talk about, it's still within his best interest to give them as little ammo as possible. viral. He's been saying as of late that detractors have nothing to talk about due to his resurgence or whatever, but there honestly has been more to talk about than ever. Now, if he actually listened to this suggestion, it could be true. If DSP quit blowing up about minor things like that, there would be far less toxic segments, leading to an overall better image for him. I don't know how he doesn't understand that if he were to quit doing the actions, there would be no clips to post, and it's those clips where he's caught in 4K being a scumbag that make people dislike him in the first place.
So here's the thing, all right? My trolls have a way of trying to derail my content because they'll come in here with a group to try to derail the chat. They'll come in here with 20 sock accounts out of nowhere, and I'll start talking about bullshit that no one cares about. And then the normal people are in the chat looking around like, I want to talk about the stream, but I can't because these idiots are talking about bullshit. What is this nonsense, right? So it's like so dumb, and I don't want to entertain that shit. So I have the right to shut it down whenever I want, and I have the right to call a moron whenever the fuck I want. The fact is, the way you're talking, oh, well, you should just be completely not super nice to everyone because if you say something wrong, your trolls will emphasize it. My trolls will do that anyway. I could be the nicest guy on the planet. I could not swear. I could never say anything insulting to anyone, and they would still make the same exact content. Why the hell am I going to pussyfoot around and walk on eggshells because my detractors make videos? The detractors can lick my fucking turds.
Hey, there's that scat humor I was just talking about a few minutes ago. Wow. You gotta love how he has started completely misrepresenting this suggestion though, as he has riled himself up. The guy was recommending that he not blow up about small things because that's what trolls enjoy and that's the response they're going for. DSP has somehow turned that into this person saying he should be nice to everyone and pussyfoot around topics to appease the trolls. I just don't know how he got to that conclusion, given that that's not at all what the person said. Now, when it comes to the idea that DSP could be a completely changed person and trolls would make the same content, that just doesn't make any sense either. How could the trolls make begging compilations if he just didn't beg? How could the trolls call him out for being toxic in Street Fighter if he just wasn't? I don't understand.
I don't care what they do, they're losers. They're never going to have a meaningful existence. They could all be flushed today and the world would be a better place. So why do I give a fuck about what they say and do and how they react to what I do? No one does, and no one should. It's time for you to stop empowering my detractors. If you think that anything they do has any meaning or worth, you're an idiot. Get yourself checked in somewhere because you need the help if you think that these moronic actions of these insignificant pieces of human waste matter to me or anyone with a fucking brain between their two fucking ears, all right? Cut the shit. Cut the duty. All right, let's move on.
What a totally rational and well-composed response he gave, right? He wasn't getting upset and swearing unnecessarily as he desperately searched for safe, mean words to say about his haters at all. I couldn't imagine why this person would tell him to tone down his outbursts.
Stop losing your temper at opponents in Street Fighter 6. Your anger and poor sportsmanship is off-putting to viewers. I think the thing is people take it too seriously. They don't understand that's what I've literally done since day one with fighting games online. If you go back to my old fighting game content, it's exactly the same. It's never changed. That has always been the way that I portray myself playing fighting games, right? I'm better than everyone else. I make no mistakes. The game sucks online. It's always the netcode. People who beat me are always cheating. They're pieces of shit. How dare they act like that? You know, that if you take it seriously, like seriously, do I have to like preface my fighting game streams and say this is kind of a joke? Don't take it seriously. Do you really think about this. Do you really think that because someone is playing a pattern with Cammy in Street Fighter 6 that I actually hate them in real life? You really believe that? If you do, I think you need to like stop living in a fairy tale world. I don't know the people who I'm playing online.
It doesn't matter how you look at this, DSP's response is so idiotic. Yes, 100%. I think he is that petty. I think his ego really is that fragile. Now, the idea that all of his behaviors on Street Fighter are meant to be in jest is just laughable. If you watch any sort of montage of him raging in Street Fighter, you can just tell that those insults and excuses, they're all genuine. And you can tell that he really does buy into his own bullshit and his own excuses. If not, why would he be so visibly upset? That doesn't happen if it's all in good fun, if he's playing into the character. You just can't fake the kind of rage that DSP displays on those streams. Or at least he can't, because he's the least authentic actor I've ever seen. You would think though, if this was a character that he was playing into, if he was playing up his salt for the content, that after being told a million times throughout his career that it's off-putting to new viewers, that he would just quit doing it. This is just another one of those examples where DSP is trying to cater to one part of his audience while actively scaring off any new viewers or any part of his audience that doesn't care for that style of content. It's almost like all of his content is kind of a shit show and shoddily put together with no real theme or idea behind it.
I mean, I'm upset when I lose, especially if I lose to some bullshit cookie cutter pattern, but I don't think that they're, you know, that they're awful humans. I just say that for reaction because people like it. People literally attend the Street Fighter 6 streams to see that. How do you think it's real, right? This is the equivalent of back in the day, me talking shit online on forums like SRK or in a fucking IRC chat room and talking shit, and then people thought like I was gonna go to a tournament and start beating people up. No, no. It's called online shit talking. How do people not understand the concept? I'm lost. I grew up in arcades. Are you ready? In arcades, when you lost or won, there was insane amounts of shit talking. It was literally like being in a locker room of a bunch of roided dudes yelling at each other and screaming at each other and being at each other's throats constantly. But it wasn't serious. It was just shit talking. We all knew that. We didn't break out into fights in the middle of the fucking arcade, ripping out bats and chains and knives and start fucking brutally murdering each other. It was a fucking video game. It's just a fucking video game.
You mean to tell me that when you went online and threatened real-life repercussions, people really thought that you were going to dish out some real-life repercussions? That's crazy. Please remind me to never take DSP at his word then, I guess, since apparently that was the wrong thing to do on the SRK forums. I will say, I love online shit-talking. I grew up in those infamous MW2 lobbies. I'm very familiar with the subject. The thing about that, though, is in order for shit-talking to be entertaining and funny, it actually has to be done in a way that the other competitor can hear you and all of the things that you have to say about them and their gameplay. His example of trash talking in arcades makes sense because the person you're talking trash about is right there and listening to you. DSP isn't doing that in Street Fighter 6. DSP is insulting all of these people with his comms off, so there's no way they could ever know that he ever said these things. And that just defeats the entire point and makes him look like a salty little coward who's scared of someone online talking back. And you would think, given his extensive experience talking all of that shit in those arcades back in the day, that he would be absolutely looking forward to a back and forth with somebody online. You would think that he would love to tear somebody apart live on stream for the lulz. But this is Phil that we're talking about. The man is a known coward. There's no doubt about it. He's actively scared of pretty much everybody on the planet.
No one is serious. If you take shit talking seriously in a video game, you need to stop playing video games. Just stop. Quit. Really. Don't, if you can't stand being in an online environment where someone might shit talk you, then don't go to the online environment. I just don't understand it. Well, I really don't. And plus, I'm only doing that commentary on my own video. It's not like I'm going to that person's channel who I just fought and I leave derogatory comments on their content saying, you suck ass, I beat your ass in Street Fighter, you suck piece of shit. It's just a fucking video. It's just a stream. It's, you know, why people react like this in 2024? I mean, you want to talk about fucking insulated special snowflakes who think that the world is all rainbows and unicorns. It's not. I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't grow up on that planet. Did you? It's ridiculous. Like, wake up. Anyone has a right to talk shit when they're playing an online game. And if you don't like it, I guess that's fine. But why on earth you would take it seriously and think that someone's being for real?
He's laughing. Someone called him out for being toxic and he's laughing. I do want to say though that if DSP did go out of his way to leave derogatory comments on his opponent's vids and posts and the like, that would actually be kind of funny. That would be in the spirit of talking trash online if he could find a way to be funny about it, which I know is kind of a big ask given who we're talking about, but the defense that he took is actually the very thing that would make it more entertaining.
So what would you like me to do? Just keep my mouth shut? Because here's the thing. Here's the boring FGC. They just sit there and they just comment, oh, good move. Oh, I dropped my combo. Oh, good move. Oh, I dropped my combo. Go to sleep. Just go to sleep. Why watch? Why do you think that the FGC has been so fucking boring for the past 20-some years? It's the colorful characters. It's the personality. That's what makes it exciting. The rivalries, the matchups, the shit talking. Not, oh, good move. Oh, dropped my combo. Oh, did that. Oh. You want to know the dumbest meme? The fucking, was it the Wozler? Wow, the Wozler is a really great meme, isn't it, guys? Yeah, if you're 4. That's the equivalent of the content you will get in the FGC if you want everyone to be a fucking PG-rated pussy. Stop wanting PG-rated pussy content, please. There's room for all kinds of content in all games. Do you understand that? If you want PG-rated content, you could go watch the Wozler shit. That's for 4-year-olds. And, oh my God, someone hit me with Iron Man Infinite. No one cares, right? Or you could watch adult content for people who have brains and understand that it's a running joke and it's silly to talk shit to people online. It's not that serious. But it's funny to watch me get pissed at losing the pattern play. Do you not get entertainment when I lose to a Cammy and I start talking shit? Is it not entertaining? I thought it was. Everyone tells me it is, right? Or you could turn on a Wozler video seeing Justin Wong doing the fucking Iron Man Infinite for the 1000th time and you could go to sleep. It's your choice. Everyone has the right to choose what kind of content you want to watch. But don't criticize mine because you don't understand about how shit talking is entertaining and that it's just a joke. No, I don't actually wish harm to the people I'm playing. It's just an observation because I'm angry in the moment. It's silly. Why on earth you would take it seriously, I just don't understand.
Apparently, only kids like people to actually be good at the games that they play. Meanwhile, mature adults are more interested in grown men being as salty as possible while swearing and cursing at their opponent. Make sense? God, I hope it makes sense to you because I'm so lost. It says so much about DSP though that he thinks in order for there to be character and personality injected into the FGC that it inherently has to be toxic. Because there couldn't possibly be any sort of interesting characters in the scene who just have fun personalities that people get behind. Of course not. They must be having blood feuds and rivalries or no one's going to watch according to DSP. Meanwhile, Evo has been growing year after year, not only in viewers but also participants, so I'm really not quite sure what the hell he's even talking about.
The predator ponage. I would suggest keeping some kind of fidget toy around during your podcast. I notice you pick at your face and your ears a lot. As a new viewer, it can be distracting from the point you're making. Jasper, careful. He slipped. It may also be a good way to keep your hands warmed up for gameplay after. No. What you're seeing me do is what everyone does. I have acne, and it's disgusting. And sometimes I'll just be feeling, oh, man. And it's gross, but I mean, I wish I didn't have acne, but I do. You just got to deal with it. It's not a big deal.
Speak for yourself, you sicko. Not everyone is sat there picking themselves the whole time they're on stream. Regardless of even if they were, doing it on camera is just gross. I also don't think that it's up to him whether or not it's a big deal. It's up to his audience ultimately. And they've very clearly told him on several occasions that it's just something that they don't like to see. It's visually distracting. It doesn't need to be a part of the content.
And you're saying, oh no, I pick my ear. Yeah, because it itches. Yeah, I'm a human. So what you want me to, a fidget toy? No, I don't need a fidget toy. I guess I need to not be human. I need to have my entire body be completely numb. So what I'm going to do from now on, I'm just going to like pop pills before I go on stream. So when I come on stream, I'm all doped up. So I don't have an itchy ear. I don't feel a pimple on my head. I don't touch anything, right? Or how about this? You could stop being so ridiculous and requesting nonsense. Like, like, what are you talking about?
He always jumps to these extremes knowing damn well that that's not what the expectation is. No one expects him to never have an itch or never touch his face again. That's a completely unrealistic expectation that he knows that no one expects. What they do expect though is for him to not constantly be slathering his own grease skin all around and picking every little imperfection that he has on his grubby little face. Like the person said, it's just visually distracting, a distraction that doesn't need to happen all of the time. And that's how often it happens. All the time. I understand you have an itch here or there, or you sweep your hair back every so often. I'm guilty of some of the exact same behaviors on my own streams, but he always manages to be fidgeting and picking and wiping, and the longer he does it, the worse it looks. And that's before we even actually start to talk about the real issue. Dude, that kind of itching and scratching is not normal. If it is in fact necessary, if you really do itch that much, you need to seek a medical professional to get that diagnosed and taken care of. There's probably some sort of cream or treatment that you could be taking in order to not have to do that.
Don't ever touch your body ever. Oh, thanks for that advice. That's really, so don't be a human. Got it. Okay, that was a good suggestion. I mean, really, what is that? I noticed that you touch your skin and your ears and stuff. You should have a fidget toy. I don't need a fucking fidget toy, you idiot. I'm a human that has things that distract me sometimes. Deal with it. Just like sometimes I have to snort because I have post-nasal drip. Sometimes I have to clear my throat when it's allergy season and my throat's all gunked up, right? Like these are normal human reactions to stimuli. No one is immune to stimuli. You understand? Like right now, I'm not kidding. I just got a little itch in the back of my head right here and I'm scratching it. Is that so hard? Is that bothering you? Oh, I'm sorry. So here's what you can do. Watch the show with the camera off. Turn the video off and just listen to the audio and then no one has to hear this. Like, what are you complaining about?
Again, no one expects you to be immune to stimuli. That's completely insane. I have no idea why he's being so hostile about this though. Any normal style person would note that they touched themselves too much on stream, no pun intended, and work to do it less for the betterment of not only their stream but themselves. DSP of course is not a normal style though. He's more akin to an alien at this point than anything else. I do love that he actually tells people to just turn off their screens if they don't like to see him pick at his pustules though. That's some big brain shit right there. And it would have been a fantastic plan if only the pores didn't exist. Because turning off the screen during a video is a luxury many people just don't have, as they don't shill out for YouTube Premium like the guy. So what are they supposed to do? Just look away? They're just supposed to suffer? I'd imagine if that's the only solution you're offering, that they would just rather watch somebody else do anything else.
What the hell are you complaining about? What a stupid thing to say. Seriously, and who is this guy? The Predator Ponage? I've never even seen him on a stream. No, you know what he's saying? let's just listen to this. You need a fidget toy. You know what he's saying? Oh, you're autistic, and people with autism need fidget toys to keep themselves occupied. That's what he's saying. It's a sneak diss. You think I'm fucking stupid or something? I'm not stupid. You're the jackass. Congrats, because you're never in chat. I don't know who the fuck you are. What an asshole.
That's why DSP was being so defensive, because once again, he was reading way more into the suggestion than was actually written. And look, I understand when you're the guy, you have to be paranoid and on the lookout for sneak disses and the like. It would be impossible not to, given his notoriety on the internet, but it's clearly poor optics to be calling out this new viewer for suggesting a fairly normal idea when out of context. Hell, even in context, there is no way to confirm his suspicions, so he just comes off as a paranoid weirdo, once again driving off any new viewers that could potentially be seeing him for the first time.
Fucking morons. Anyway, let's continue. From Ultra Materializer X, I think you should replace Tier 1 Tips goal and always wear glasses. You're getting older and you need to protect your eyeballs. If you haven't noticed, we haven't been doing the goals. Why? Because they've been phased out. All right? Now, if there's a day when my eyes are burning, and I think it's going to benefit me to wear the Gunner glasses, I'm just going to put them on. If there's a day when we're having a fun stream, and everyone's excited and we're all hyping everything, and we want to get a hat going, we'll just put on a hat. It doesn't have to be for a certain level of support. The support should be forthcoming because you like the content, because you want to see success, because you want to see me improve my setup, because you want to hear about great things improving in my life, and because you want to felt the fuck out of my dumbass detractors. That should be why you're supporting the content, right? Not because, oh, I came on the stream today because I wanted to see him put on a pair of glasses, right? I want to see Phil put on a hat. Like that.
You know, I remember a time when DSP did not want people to support him to felt the detractors. I remember that time because it wasn't actually that long ago. In fact, it was just a few months. Now it seems every time that support gets brought up, he is actively encouraging that exact behavior. It's strange how things change like that, isn't it? I will say though, I was happy to see the tier rewards leave. It was stupid in the first place and breaks up the content unnecessarily. Not to mention, had the tiered rewards stayed gone, nobody would have ever had to hear DSP bitch about being overheated due to the vests again. I've never heard a grown man complain about being overheated more than DSP, and I don't know if that's a lack of dignity on his end or his unparalleled need to complain about everything, but either way, I could have gone the rest of my life without ever hearing it again. I'm also kind of confused though as to why he wouldn't just wear the glasses all of the time when he plays games. They are supposed to stop the blue light from straining your eyes. Why would he wait to put them on knowing that he's supposed to play games for multiple hours in a session? Wouldn't it just make more sense to put them on at the start?
I get it. Those were motivations years ago, like the vest streak. Those were motivations years ago. Those are far outdated now. All right, which is why it's hilarious when we haven't talked about these things, and then all of a sudden you'll get a bunch of people come on a stream and be like, "Where's the vest? Where's this? Where's that?" Like, what are you talking about? We haven't even done it in weeks. We're done with that. We're far past it. I don't have to dress up for you to have fun. You're having fun already, right? So here's the thing. Today, if my eyes start to burn or whatever, I'll put on the Gunner glasses.
But why wait? I'm so confused at this logic. It's like waiting to wear your normal glasses until a combination of blurred vision and squinting causes you to have a headache. Just avoid the whole thing by wearing them from the start. Would you wait until you get into a car accident to put your seatbelt on? I didn't think so. So how is this situation really any different?
Same thing. Today we're playing Astrobot and we're having hype fun and we hit the King's Street and we're all having a good time. Maybe I'll just toss on a hat. Maybe I'll put on the Bender hat, the robot hat for Astrobot. That'd be funny, right? I think that'd be fun. But that's the thing. Like, people get so stuck in their ways. When was the last time I even mentioned one of those goals? Right? We don't have tiered goals. Does it say 50, 100, 150, or 2? We don't have that. We have the King's coffers on purpose, right? Speaking of which, let's get some support going.
Of course, he turned the talk about tiered rewards into a beg. Why wouldn't he? It's like the prime time, you know? I've never personally understood the appeal to begin with, but even he talks about it as if there is some sort of enjoyment to be had. Maybe I'll put on the Bender hat for Astrobot. That would be funny. Like, would it? Is that comedy? Is there a joke there other than you just looking stupid? And if that is the only joke, is that joke really funny enough to warrant the $100 price tag that he associates with it? Again, I don't think so, but apparently his dents do.
Dude, you're going to a convention? That's cool. I'm glad to hear it. You have a lot of fun when you go to conventions, right? Are you meeting anyone in particular at this convention? All right, let's continue. I just saw Maven Huffman promote a YouTube Premium 2 free month trial. He said he earns commissions. Maybe something new YouTube is pushing. Maybe we're checking your channel. Yeah, there's nothing, dude. You have to understand something. I am never going to get those opportunities. YouTube doesn't like me. Did you know YouTube on their YouTube actual you know, a Twitter account, they actually do YouTube anniversaries of people who've been on the channel for a long time. They've posted up creators far smaller than me. They have never posted me up on there. I've been on there. DSP Gaming's been around since April of 2010. I've been on this channel or this website for over 14 years. Never once have they celebrated me being here. Why? My detractors. It's that simple. If there wasn't this negative shit detractors hating on me constantly, they would probably be happy and celebrate. But they know if they make a social media post about me, the detractors are going to shit all over it. So they don't bother.
So they don't post him because they know that people typically have a negative view of him. That sounds entirely rational to me. It doesn't sound like they have any sort of vendetta against him, just sounds like a wise business decision as to not stir up any unnecessary drama between them and the users who are always using their site. Let's assume it's not because of the backlash they would receive. Do you really think that YouTube would be looking to promote or shout out someone like Phil? What would they even say? He's one of the streamers of all time, he's been here forever? That's not much of a selling point. And they sure as shit aren't gonna show any clips of him because he's swearing, burping, or banning about every 5 seconds. It would just be hard to find a real clip. Honestly, the whole thing would just be a waste of their time, so it's no wonder they haven't done it yet. And hopefully it stays that way to the benefit of everybody else on the site as a whole.
So the same thing here. They're not going to offer me the opportunity to do a YouTube premium thing. You know, I'm never going to get that. And I think that people just need to understand that, right? Like, sadly, I'm not going to be given the opportunity to do this kind of shit. Just like when I was on Twitch, and at first I was given the opportunity to do sponsored streams, and I did 2 of them, and then immediately I was banned from the program, and then Twitch continued to lie about me and say I wasn't banned, even though I was, because of my detractors. My detractors went and harassed the game makers of the games that did the sponsorships with me, and they told Twitch they didn't want me to do them ever again because the level of harassment they got. You see? So anyway, this will never happen. You have to understand. That's something you just have to get through your head. My support comes from viewers and fans. It's never going to come from some major company. YouTube is not going to be like, oh, here's a referral link to get people to do YouTube Premium. All right? It's too wishful thinking. It's never going to happen. Plus, I'm too small time anyway. They're going to give the opportunity to somebody big, not to me, right?
There is something just inherently disrespectful about saying that someone needs to get that through their head. I've never heard that phrase used in a positive way. It's always as a way to put someone down and imply they are slow or stupid for not understanding by now. Of course, insulting his viewers and commenters is nothing new for the guy, but this is OP Boone we're talking about. This guy has given DSP numerous suggestions at this point and was doing free labor in the form of AI timestamps on his video. So you would think that DSP could show him a little kindness here. If you were thinking that though, obviously you would be wrong because that was not the case. He was also very quick to shut down that idea entirely and immediately blamed the trolls. Like, it's no wonder he's stuck on level 1 if that's how he's shooting down every suggestion he gets on how to improve his business style situation.
Okay, what was I going to say? I got distracted. Oh, so I already knew that long term, I wanted to phase out the tiered goals of the gunner glasses at $50, the hat at 100, and the vest at 150. I knew I wanted to phase them out because they were becoming annoying. They were becoming boring. Let's be honest. It was cool for a while, but it's kind of the same thing over and over. And unless let's say we're doing a special playthrough and I get a special hat or something, it's just not that big of a deal, right? I don't think people really care that much about it. So for me, I knew I always kind of wanted to like phase it out. And so FYI, now that the Kino Casino people were coming over and everything, I had the intention of, hey, let's get a streak going. Let's get this going and get more excited for the streak than anything else. Because the streak is what's really meaningful here. The level of support I'm getting, the fact that every single time that I hit that streak, that my detractors are crying and seething and pissing themselves and shitting themselves, and they make horrible videos about how stupid they are. It's just funny to see, and I love it. So that's really the focus.
Always with the scat humor. Apparently that's where the focus is supposed to be though. The focus shouldn't be on what you, the audience member, receives in return for your money. Of course not. The focus should be on the streak though, aka how often he receives enough money for one stream, and pissing off the people who hate him. With that mentality, it's no wonder his numbers are going back down so quickly. He doesn't understand that no one wants to pay to watch him play games, yet he offers nothing else to tip for. Logan said this the other day, shout out Logan K of course from Taken L's. When the casino folks showed up in DSP's stream and began giving him money, he really thought that now was the time to get rid of the stupid tiered gimmicks. He thought with his newfound audience that he no longer needed the pittance that he was receiving from his old viewers, and that the new Kino enjoyers would instead bankroll him with or without a hat or vest. Fortunately for everyone but DSP, that was not the case, because the Kino enjoyers don't care for the gameplay. In all honesty, they don't care for anything other than the drama content. So DSP is forced to give ground on this topic to his old dents, slowly letting the tiered rewards come back every so often. Now, I'm not sure if we'll ever see it back in full like it was before, but I do think we're definitely getting back to that. I think you're going to start seeing the hat and the vest coming back more and more often, at least until his boyfriends show back up.
The improvement of my life, the improvement of the quality of my streams and content, as you've seen, all the improvements I've done and I'm continuing to do, and you know, my continued success and being able to improve my life, that's what we're celebrating here. Okay, not, oh, Phil put on a hat or a vest. So I already was phasing it out. That's why I didn't really do a big thing about, oh, let's introduce all the hats and vests and things to everyone, because I didn't really want to keep doing it. Let's be honest, half the time in here, it's very hot. If I'm playing a fighting game, I'm already overheated. If it's a summer day, it's hot as shit. Now I gotta put on a fucking vest. I mean, that is so stupid, right? So it's not that I don't like the vest or I'm not, I'm not down for the joke. It's just it kind of played out its course. Now, I'm not saying I would never wear one. I would like to do it from time to time, right? Like there'll be days when I want to wear the gunner glasses. Like I said today, it'd be funny to see me toss on the robot hat as we're playing Astrobot, right? But I don't want to do it every day, and I don't want that to be the focus of my streams. That people are like, the hat, the vest, the hat, the vest. It just gets ridiculous.
He very clearly does not want to wear the stupid hat or vest, and at this point, he should just say that outright, because the amount of times now that he has had to retell his audience all the reasons why he doesn't want to do it every day is just absurd. He needs to just scrap the whole idea and move on already. This is just another one of those ways that DSP allows his audience to dictate his content in a way that just doesn't really make sense, and he doesn't have to do. There's a million other things that he could offer to his audience in exchange for their money to give them some sort of reward, and instead of doing that, he just continues to do the same things over and over again that he doesn't want to do. But that's going to be the end of these suggestion box segments, or at least my favorite parts of them. Hopefully I'll catch all of you guys in the next video. Until then, be safe. Goodbye.
Stop wanting PG-rated pussy content, please.